Good evening, all. I welcome you here to attend the presentation, which is specifically conducted for the speaking module today. And I am here, one of the certified ITP certified trainers on behalf of Persona Academy, to today give you some tips, tricks, all the strategies that can be involved in mastering your cue card in just a time frame of 60 seconds that has been given to you. So stay tuned in order to get into the intricacies of how we can master this technique. All right, students, let's begin. So here we are, and why we are here? We are here to master the cue card in 60 seconds. That is 1 minute. That is already the allocated time to us for the speaking module of ours. And today, the topic of discussion is the cue card preparation. Okay, so let's first of all go through the basics of this module, this whole complete module, not only talking about the cue card, but let's get into that what all parameters are there, where on the basis of which you will be scored in your speaking module. So there are four key assessment criteria for IELTS speaking. First of all, it is fluency and coherence, lexical resources, grammatical range and accuracy, pronunciation. So what is fluency? Everybody knows. Fluency is the way, the mannerism, how you will be able to maintain the flow of the content which you are talking about. Coherence means the priority list. You need to set out the ideas for yourself that, okay, I need to talk about this idea first. The next point that I will be talking about is this particular point. So coherence is priority, the importance, the exact layout of your cue card, of the content of your cue card. Point number 1, 2, 3, 4. It should not be any hierarchy. Let's say if the bullet point number fourth is that how do you feel about it? So you will not directly start or begin with the bullet point that is being mentioned on the third or fourth position. You will be there is a particular hierarchy that you need to follow, and that is what we will be talking about in this parameter of ours, which is coherence. So coherence का मतलब होता है कि relevance, priority wise, how we are going to mention our ideas, how we are going to mention our content, that is coherence. Lexical resources is what? It is vocabulary, the vocabulary bank that you are holding for yourself, which will be the grounds, which will be proving the grounds on which you will be soaring for a high band score. So lexical resources क्या है? Simple good words so that you can create an impression on the examiner that all right, I am having a good range of words with me which I can use in order to portray my fluency and expertise in the language. Next comes grammatical range and accuracy. Now, grammar is very important, as we all know. No matter if you choose simple sentences, it is all right as long as the sentences are grammatically accurate. So, range and accuracy. Range means how many types of sentences you can incorporate in your speaking. आप कितने types of sentences जो है वो use कर सकते हो. Simple sentence, compound sentences, complex sentences. So these are the variety of sentences which you can use in order to have more bands. Next is pronunciation. Pronunciation is what? Everybody knows that the correct way to pronounce a particular word, the correct way how the particular word need to be spoken. So उस particular word को कैसे बोलना है? If it is pronunciation, it is pronunciation. It is not pronunciation. Okay, so there is where the difference lies, that how to pronounce the words correctly, and it is also going to fetch you bands. Now because there are four parameters, so every parameters accounts for 25% of your total IELTS speaking score. That means if fluency is there, which will be 25% important in your speaking criteria. You will be marked on this. 25% weightage is there for fluency and coherence, 25% is there of vocabulary, 25% of grammar, and 25% of pronunciation, which makes it wholesome of 100% content, which will be the basis on which you will be scored by the examiner for your IELTS speaking. All right. So you need not forget, you need to keep this in mind that this is the basis on which you are going to be scored in your IELTS speaking. इन पैरामीटर्स के बेसिस पर एग्जामिनर आपको टेस्ट करेगा. वो देखेगा कि आपकी फ्लुएंसी जो है, आप कितने फ्लुएंट हो, आप बीच में स्टैमर तो नहीं करते हो, आप बीच में फंबल तो नहीं करते हो, डू नॉट टेक लॉन्ग पॉजेज, जो कंटेंट आप बोल रहे हो उसका रेलेवेंस बन रहा है, एक प्रायोरिटी वाइज, एक सीक्वेंस वाइज थिंग्स आर बीइंग स्पोकन, आपके पास अच्छे वर्ड्स, गुड वोकेबुलरी बैंक है या नहीं है, ग्रामर आपकी साउंड है या नहीं है, डू यू नो हाउ टू से द वर्ड्स पर्टिकुलरली आउट लाउड. Okay, so these are the things which the examiner is looking on your IELTS speaking. For your IELTS speaking, you're judged on these 4 parameters. So what will be the format on which you will be answering your Q card? First of all, always there is an introduction to it. Then there is a body, and at the last there is conclusion. Now introduction mein what we write? Generally we write a general line. General line means if for example you're given a Q card about write down your speak about your favorite memory of your, speak about a favorite memory of your childhood. So आपकी जो जनरल लाइन रहेगी, इट विल बी अबाउट मेमोरीज. मेमोरीज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन an individual's lives because they are something that are connected to the deep corners of our heart. Okay, so here goes the introduction line. So this is the way for every cue card there will be a topic. Memory hai, favorite person hai, your the sport which you like to play, your best entertainment thing. Okay, so any topic is there, you need to figure out the topic, and then you have to talk about an introduction in a single line. You can generalize that very topic. Next you have to answer the bullet points. Now how you will be answering the bullet points? Bullet points hote kya hai, we'll discuss it out in the later slides. Just in order to give you an insight into that what actually the bullet point are, the topic of the cue card is given out to you, and then uske niche 3 to 4 bullet points means पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चंस होंगे जो आपको पूछे जाएंगे, लाइक हु, व्हाट, व्हेन, वेयर, व्हाई, हाउ ऑफन. सो दोज आर द बुलेट पॉइंट्स विच जिनके आंसर आप देते हुए अपनी क्यू कार्ड की बॉडी को प्रिपेयर करोगे. सो इंट्रोडक्शन, बॉडी, एंड देन यू विल कंक्लूड योर क्यू कार्ड ऑल्सो. कंक्लूजन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इफ यू फिनिश इट विद द आंसर ऑफ द लास्ट बुलेट पॉइंट, तो वो बहुत ही रॉ एंडिंग होगी उसकी. In order to give it a perfect ending, you need to conclude it. Like therefore, for instance, if you are being asked about your the person you like the most. Okay, so let's say you're talking about your friend. Now if you're talking about your friend, how will you conclude it? That though we are not able to meet very often nowadays because of our busy schedules, but the times we have spent together, I still reminisce those times. I sometimes when I pass by the lanes of where our school was, where we studied together, it makes me nostalgic, right? So these are the ways in which you can beautifully conclude your cue card. So the basic format of cue card is you introduce the topic of the cue card, you answer what questions are asked in the bullet points as the body of your cue card, and then you conclude it, you finished your cue card beautifully. Perfect. Let's move on to the next slide. Now, how to plan the cue card. Planning of the cue card is very important. If you do not plan your cue card, you are not able to map your mind effectively. You do not know. आपके mind में कोई भी word, कोई भी sentence, कोई भी information आएगी, आप उसको बोल दोगे. So, where you will be lacking is synchronization. आपका sync नहीं रहेगा. आप कभी भी किसी भी चीज का आंसर दे रहे हो, तो बहुत ही हैफजार्ड, बहुत ही रैंडम क्यू कार्ड आपका रेडी हो जाएगा, which will not look perfect. Okay, so in order to plan the cue card, there is a strategy. What strategy is there? In order to discover that strategy, you must know कि structure क्या है जो question में आपसे already पूछा गया है. If you observe closely, what you will see is that there are 5 W's and 1 H in the bullet points of the cue card that is being asked about from you. Okay. So try to imagine every possible part of the question that is listed in the bullet points of the cue card. Bullet points जो हैं उसमें जो भी questions आपसे पूछे गए हैं आप उन questions का answer sequentially देते हुए चलोगे and you will definitely reach out to that band 8 or above. You should not miss the answer of any question in your cue card that you're being asked about. Okay. So what are the 5 W's and 1 H? Let's see. What, when, where, why. These are the 5 W's and 1 H, how. So what, when, where, why, what, and how. Okay. So these are the 5 W's and what H. Now let's practically see that how cue card is being planned, how you need to map it, how you need to schedule it, prepare for it within those 60 seconds that you have been given. Okay. So basic layout कैसा रहता है? This is the spider diagram comes to the rescue. Now what is a spider diagram? The pictorial representation that you are seeing here on the screen is basically called a spider diagram. जिसमें आप you write down the topic of your cue card in that circle, and then what you do is that you draw lines from it. And now this diagram need not to be very perfect or beautiful because nobody is ultimately seeing it. It is for your own convenience. बट यहाँ पर आप होगा क्या क्वेश्चंस कैसे कैसे आपको पूछे गए होंगे लाइक हु इज द पर्सन नाउ यू विल नॉट स्टार्ट राइटिंग द क्वेश्चंस देयर अपने स्पाइडर डायग्राम में दिस इज जस्ट टू डिस्प्ले द क्वेश्चन राइट इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू कि आपको क्यू कार्ड किस तरीके से पूछा जाएगा स्पीक और टॉक अबाउट अ पर्सन यू लाइक द मोस्ट सो उसमें बुलेट पॉइंट्स कैसे रहेंगे फर्स्ट बुलेट पॉइंट विल बी हु इज द पर्सन यू सी दिस who is the person next bullet point will be when did you meet for the first time okay next question which is asked is what characteristics this person has next is what do you do together next why do you like him or her then the last one is how often do you see this person so now do you see that how many w's are there who one when two what three and what do you do together four why five and the last one is h how often so how often do you see this person? So these are the questions which will be proving out as a guideline to you for you to answer your questions and prepare the content, the body of your cue card. Let's see how will you plan those 60 seconds of yours when you're given a piece of paper and a pencil. Here it goes. Now हमें sequentially इन्हीं questions को answer करते जाना है. I have provided you with variety of answers, variety of keywords that you can mention. अब it is not possible for you if you just have a look at the screen. It is basically practically not possible कि आप इतने words 60 seconds में लिख पाएं. मैंने आपको इन slide में I have introduced variety just in order to let you know what all possible answers you can write for each of the bullet point of your cue card. So let's look into this. हमारा first question क्या था? Who is the person? Okay. So the basic topic that is being asked about forms the center of your spider diagram. A person you like the most. Who this person is? Childhood friend. वो आपका चाइल्डहुड फ्रेंड हो सकता है वो आपका पड़ोसी हो सकता है नेबर वो आपकी क्लास में पढ़ रहा हो सकता है क्लासमेट कुलीग हो सकता है ओके इफ यू नॉट करंटली स्टडिंग यू कैन से दैट यूज टू बी माई क्लासमेट और यूज टू बी माई कुलीग इन केस आपकी वर्क प्लेस चेंज हो चुकी है okay and after mentioning that who the person is you must mention the name of the person here I have mentioned Stuart okay so this is the way where you have just answered the first bullet point of your cue card which is who the person is next one is when did you meet the person for the first time now when means time so you need to specify you need to mention the time that when did you actually meet the person the very first time okay so now it can be a few years back आप कह सकते हो कि a few years back हो सकता है for example I met this person 5 years back in 2018 okay either you can say I met the person when I was 8 years old right you can specify your age you can specify the year in which you mentioned if you do not remember you can say I met this person a few years ago okay but the time frame needs to be mentioned for this question, when. When you will answer in a particular time period. Now, you can also state the place where you met this person. Okay. You can say, I met this person in primary school, in workplace. Workplace means आपके काम की जगह. Public transport, maybe you were traveling by a bus, train, or you met the person on a flight. So you can say that I met this person in a public transport by specifying the mode of transport that you met in. You can either talk about a public place also, restaurant, cafe, hotel, a bar, okay, college, family function, party. So any of the occasions you can meet the person, but you need to specify when and where you met that person. All right. Moving on to the next bullet point of your cue card, which asks what characteristics this person has. Now, characteristic का क्या मतलब होता है? Characteristic का मतलब होता है features क्या है? All right. Now you can talk anything and everything about the personality, the physical appearance, the nature, the behavior, the talent, anything you can talk about. Let's see what we have here. Tall, okay. The person ka physical appearance is being talked about. Long haired, impressive dress sense. Now, यहाँ तक physical appearance है, then they are going on to their personality traits like intelligent है, good communication and leadership skills, good moral values, optimistic. Optimistic means very positive person. Optimistic है, skillful means talented. So these are the characteristics of a person. And you can go on and on and on with that. All right. Okay. So moving on to the next bullet point, what has been asked is, what do you do together? Okay. Now you, जो question, जो क्यू कार्ड आपके पास है, you say the person you like the most, you have answered it with a friend. अब हम अपने फ्रेंड के साथ क्या चीजें इकट्ठे कर सकते हैं या हम करते हैं, वी विल बी मेंशनिंग अबाउट ऑल दोज थिंग्स, जो कि बेसिकली विल कंसिस्ट ऑफ एक्टिविटीज, राइट? हम क्या एक्टिविटीज करते हैं, हम क्या चीजें करना पसंद करते हैं जब हम इकट्ठे होते हैं. सो इसमें वी विल बी मेंशनिंग ऑल दोज थिंग्स. फॉर इंस्टेंस यू कैन से वी गो फॉर मूवीज टुगेदर, we go for shopping, we play video games, we cook together, we work out together, we go for trips and picnics, or you can say we go for outings. आप किसी स्पोर्ट्स का मेंशन कर सकते हो, लाइक वी प्ले बैडमिंटन, right? We are very much interested in playing indoor games such as carom board is one of our favorite. We play Ludo, all right? And then visit religious places. If you want to say that, usually you want to say that you mentioned we go to Gurdwara or we go to instead of that, you can say we visit religious places together. So these all are the activities which you can mention that you would like to do together with your bestie. All right, let's see what's the next bullet point. The next bullet point is, why do you like him or her? Okay, so now how you do you see that how different this question is from the question that was previously being asked, that what characteristic this person has? Now characteristics जो है वो positive भी हो सकते हैं, negative भी हो सकते हैं. Okay, characteristics means features, right? A particular part of a person's personality, but वो हमारा friend है, plus जो क्यू कार्ड पूछा गया है उसका टॉपिक थीम आप अगर ध्यान से देखें तो उसमें उन्होंने कहा है अ पर्सन यू लाइक द मोस्ट. सो आप उसको पसंद करते हो, तो लेट्स स्टे ऑन द पॉजिटिव साइड, लेट्स टॉक अबाउट ऑल द प्लस एंड गुड पॉइंट्स ऑफ दैट person, of your friend. Now this particular point is different from the characteristics, the reason being कि आपको वो क्यों पसंद है. अब अगर हमें कोई पसंद होता है, दैट डेफिनेटली मीन्स के उसमें हम उस पर्सन की और अपनी बॉन्डिंग की बात करेंगे, राइट? ऐसी चीजों की बात करेंगे जिससे हमें उसकी पर्सनालिटी, उसके बिहेवियर, उसके एक्शंस की वजह से कंफर्टेबल फील होता है. ओके, सो व्हाट ऑल वी कैन से इज दैट पर्सन इज ट्रस्ट वर्दी. नाइस. सो दैट मीन्स यू कैन ट्रस्ट दिस पर्सन, इसीलिए आप उसको पसंद करते हो. अगर आप उसको ट्रस्ट कर रहे हो तब आप अपने सीक्रेट्स, अपनी थॉट प्रोसेस, अपना साइकी उससे शेयर कर सकते हो, साइकोलॉजिकल थॉट्स उससे शेयर कर सकते हो, right? You can be open with that person without any terms and conditions, and without thinking, giving it a second thought that okay, should I talk to this person or not, should I discuss this topic or not, should I let my feelings out with him or her or not. So you like that person because that person is trustworthy, you can talk with him or her about anything and everything. So trustworthy. Supportive, being supportive is very important. If that person is not supportive, does not supports you, where you need the support, a proper support system in order to grow, in order to upgrade yourself, in order to cross all those boundaries and jump off those hurdles in your life, then there comes the friend who is playing role in that. So in order to be a good friend, the person must be supportive, must support your decisions, must take stand for you, emotionally available. Very important. So emotions, are a part of, are a very crucial part of any relationship. So if you like some person, that definitely means that you are emotionally interconnected with that person somewhere or the other. So being emotionally available means कि जब आप इमोशनली लो हो या इमोशनली हाई, अगर आप इमोशनली लो हो, यू नीड समवन टू अंडरस्टैंड यू, टू लिसन टू यू, टू अंडरस्टैंड, टू have the capability to bring you up through that circumstance, through those circumstances. Okay, so that is important. Now अगर आप अपने emotionally high हो, so you need somebody, you're very excited, yeah, something definitely good has happened and you need someone to share your feelings with. So emotional availability is very important, someone to share your emotions with. Okay, so understanding, loyal means that the person will not betray you at all. A person, that friend of yours is not a kind of person who will talk behind your back, who will backbite you. Okay, so this person definitely is loyal, helpful, compassionate, means full of love, understanding. So these are the features which make you like that person, because इसमें आपकी और उस पर्सन की इन डेप्थ बॉन्डिंग इन्वॉल्व है. So this is the way where you can, answer this bullet point of yours. Why do you like him or her? How often you see this person? Okay, आप कितनी बार मिलते हो इस person से? How often मतलब कितनी बार? Okay, इसके again variety of answers can be there. अगर आप उससे रोज मिलते हो तो आप कह दोगे every day. अगर नहीं मिलते हो तो hardly do we meet. Okay, so now we have to move on to our lexical resources also. So what all good words we can use in order to form a perfect answer for this last bullet point of ours? We can say weekends. Weekends means Saturday, Sunday. Okay, अगर आप रोज मिलते हो you can say daily. अगर आप Monday to Friday मिलते हो you can say weekdays. मे बी वीकेंड्स पर वो पर्सन अपने घर चले जाता है या फिर वेर एवर और whatsoever, maybe he works on week ends. Okay, so whatever the case is, you can say weekends, weekdays, daily. Rarely means कभी कभी. Barely means hardly, मतलब close to बिल्कुल भी नहीं, close to none, बहुत ही कम, उसका मतलब है barely. So that is the difference between rarely and barely. Occasionally means कभी कभी, occasions पे, मे बी festivities पे, मे बी get togethers पे, और you know जब आपने कुछ प्लान किया है, कोई important event है, so occasionally. Seldom again means rarely, कभी कभी. Once in a blue moon means barely, मतलब बहुत ज्यादा कम chances है मिलने के. मे बी आपकी कंट्री अलग है और some circumstances are playing role. So that means once in a blue moon, मतलब बहुत ही कम, बहुत ही कम. Plan, as per plan. Okay, so you both are working, all right, and आप plan कर लेते हो once a month or once every quarterly and year. So it depends, आप plan करके मिल लेते हो. So that also comes in your cue card bullet point number 6, where you're being asked about how often, कितनी बार आप मिलते हो. All right, so now do you see that we have plenty of material जो हमने अपने in your speaking module, when you are sitting for your module, you are been given a paper and a pencil for your cue card temptation. So do not take it that way कि आप mind में अपना answer form कर लेते. If you are capable enough, it's good, but it is not advisory to be overconfident. Even if you think that you have ample of ideas, still make some, jot down some points, some words, some good vocabulary words, which at least help you map your cue card, the content of your cue card, so that आपका coherence जो है वो maintained रहे. Because sometimes when we talk, it is a human tendency to forget things and then recall it later. तो आपका अगर forget करके recall it later वाला हो गया, it will hamper your coherence somewhere or the other. So we don't want to have that to happen, and this is the reason I would advise you that please use that pencil and that piece of paper to jot your points down, and surely make a spider diagram where every question, every bullet point is being answered. All right. Now let's see a sample answer of the cue card that, okay, talk about a person that you like the most. Stuart is undoubtedly my best friend according to every definition I can fathom. Now, this cue card is, a perfect example of what you need to say if you need to score a band 9. Why? Because if you look closely, I have distinctively changed the color of the words which are adding up to the lexical resources. Okay. So words which are in blue, these are the words which will make you fetch high bands. Stuart is undoubtedly my best friend according to every definition I can fathom about the best buddy. He is 25 years old and a handsome fellow. Fathom. What does fathom means? Fathom means understand. अब वो क्या कह रहा है कि स्टुअर्ट जो है विदाउट एनी डाउट मेरा बेस्ट फ्रेंड है, और कोई भी दुनिया की ऐसी डेफिनेशन हो जिसमें एक आइडियल, एक बेस्ट फ्रेंड के डेफिनेशन दी जाए, तो अगर उसमें मुझे कुछ समझ आता है तो मुझे स्टुअर्ट समझ में आता है. He is 24 years old and a handsome fellow. His smile, both genuine and rouge one. Rouge one means mischievous. So rouge will fetch you pants. Is a worth $1 million. So I haven't just simply said that his smile is really good. He smiles, he when he smiles, he looks pretty. I have used his smile, both genuine and rouge one, is worth $1 million. So this is the difference between band 6 and band 8 and above. Once I heard that if you can stay silent for a long time with a friend and yet feel comfortable being so, probably she is your best friend, and that's exactly what Stuart is. तो वो क्या चीज कह रहा है कि वो कहता है once I heard, मतलब मैंने ऐसे सुना था कि अगर आप एक किसी पर्सन के साथ काफी लंबे समय तक बैठे हैं और कुछ बात भी नहीं कर रहे हैं, and if you're still feeling comfortable, that means that you are probably sitting with your best friend. And here the narrator, जो भी अपना क्यू कार्ड बोल रहा है, the speaker says that I feel exactly the same thing when Stuart is with me. So beautifully उसने आंसर किया है, एक बहुत ही जिससे deep sense of bonding is being portrayed. We are boon companions for more than 7 years. Boon, what does boon mean? Boon means Vardhan. So, matlab, having a friend like this, he's considered it as a blessing to himself. So, you can use this vocabulary word, boon companions. We are boon companions for more than 7 years, and I met him in my college days. I have a whale of a time. Oh, wow. So, having a whale of a time is an idiom which means कि बहुत ही बढ़िया टाइम मेरा बीतता है. I have a whale of a time, a fantastic time, a fun time from every perspective. From every perspective means हर तरफ से, हर नजरिए से, हर हाल में, हर तरह से. From every perspective मैं बहुत ही बढ़िया टाइम स्पेंड करता हूँ whenever I am with him. So having a whale of a time from every perspective, good lexical resources. He stays with me through thick and thin. All right. So through thick and thin means what? मतलब life के ups and downs में. And is always the person whom I can share anything and everything. So that means, okay, that person is very comfortable with his best friend Stuart, and sharing is not an issue, because then again he relies on his friend. Reliability is more, because that person might be having trust factor on that person. So he is an attentive listener. I'm sorry. He is an attentive listener. Attentive listener means जब आप बात कर रहे होते हो, कोई आपको ध्यान से सुनता है, that means the person is proving out to be an attentive listener for you. वो बहुत ध्यान से आपको सुन रहा है, आपको तवज्जो दे रहा है, importance दे रहा है. So there's also these small things, small gestures do matter in any relationship, okay? So this is the reason he's saying that he is an attentive listener and one of the most talented person I have ever met. He never hesitates to tell me the truth in an unapologetically blunt manner, and never dithers to stop me when I am wrong. Now, dithers is not in blue. It's a blunder on my part, but dither is also a good word. Dither means कि वो चूकता नहीं है, वो हेजिटेट नहीं करता है. ओके, वो इसके बारे में उसको कोई शंका नहीं है. सो ही अनअपोलोजेटिकली मीन्स बिना किसी सॉरी फील किए, बिना सॉरी फील किए, दैट मीन उसको ऐसे नहीं लगता कि मैंने कुछ गलत काम किया है. सो ही नेवर हेजिटेट्स टू टेल मी द ट्रूथ इन एन अनअपोलोजेटिकली ब्लंट मैनर. ब्लंट मैनर मतलब स्ट्रेट अवे. अनअपोलोजेटिकली मीन्स बिना ये सोचे कि मैंने कोई गलती करी है. एंड नेवर डिथर्स, नेवर हेजिटेट्स टू स्टॉप मी व्हेन आई एम रॉन्ग. Our friendship commenced and remained intact. Commenced means began, start हुई, and remained intact. Intact mean अभी तक भी वैसी की वैसी ही है, उतनी ही strong है, उतनी ही solid है. Mostly because of our common interests. So भी friendship को, कोई भी फ्रेंडशिप आपकी उतनी ही डीप होगी अगर आपके कॉमन इंटरेस्ट ज़्यादा हैं, सो दैट यू पीपल कैन स्पेंड टाइम टुगेदर. सो वो कह रहा है कि हमारी फ्रेंडशिप जब से शुरू हुई है और अब तक इसलिए इतनी स्ट्रांग है, इतनी सॉलिड है, बिकॉज कॉमन इंटरेस्ट्स हैं. द बुक्स वी रीड आर a mutable issue between us. Oh wow, mutable means debatable. That means वो बुक्स रीड करते हैं, राइट, ये उनकी वन ऑफ द कॉमन हॉबीज हैं. और जब वो बुक्स रीड करते हैं उनके अपने अपने थॉट्स रहते होंगे एंड वो आपस में उनको डिस्कस करते हैं, उसके बारे में डिबेट करते हैं. दे समटाइम्स मे एग्री टू इट. कुछ पॉइंट्स होंगे जिन पर वो सहमत होंगे, एग्री कर रहे होंगे. कुछ पॉइंट्स होंगे जिन पर वो नहीं एग्री करते होंगे. सो दे हैव healthy discussions about those points and things. So we can use the word mutable. Mutable means debatable. We criticize the writings or movies we watch and praise a beautiful pieces of artwork. So वो क्या करते हैं, वो criticize भी करते हैं और praise भी करते हैं. Writings, movies और beautiful pieces में भी books हैं, maybe they are attending some drama theater whatever. So they enjoy everything that they indulge in. Let it be criticism and let it be praising something or someone. We are both absorbed in computer games. That means they like playing computer games a lot. So absorbed, जब हम किसी चीज में absorbed होते हैं, that means we love to do that thing. We like it the most, and we try uh, spending more time in that. We love spending more time in that activity. So we are both absorbed in computer games and we often play together. All right. So they are also playing together. These days we are learning Spanish in conjunction. Hmm. So आजकल अपना time भी they are using it productively and they are learning Spanish in place of together. We are here using a good vocabulary word which is in conjunction. And taking our graphics designing course simultaneously. अब स्पेनिश सीखने के साथ साथ they are also into graphic designing का course simultaneously, मतलब side by side. So स्पेनिश सीख रहे हैं और साथ ही साथ graphic designing का course भी सीख रहे हैं. Whenever I rent or download a movie, I invite him to watch it on my 3D TV. वो कह रहा है कि जब भी हाँ मैं कोई भी मूवी लाता हूँ, डाउनलोड करता हूँ या लाता हूँ, तो वी यूजुअली वॉच इट टुगेदर. दे आर वॉचिंग इट टुगेदर. ही इनवाइट्स हिम ओवर एट हिज प्लेस and they basically enjoy watching movies together. Apart from that, we are maintaining a blog together and that's something we enjoy profoundly. Profoundly means deeply, बहुत ज़्यादा. You can say extensively, deeply, profoundly. Sometimes I share things with him that I cannot share with anyone else, and I get advice without being judged. Okay, so basically, जो Stuart है, he is non-judgmental. Judgmental क्या होता है? मतलब अपने किसी किसी की माइंडसेट, किसी का थॉट प्रोसेस, किसी को जाने बिना अपनी एक उस पर्सन या उस सिचुएशन के बारे में एक राय बना लेना. सो वी शुड नेवर बी जजमेंटल. जजमेंटल मीन्स किसी के बारे में कोई स्टेटमेंट पास कर देनी, राय बना लेना, विदाउट इवन गेटिंग टू नो और विदाउट इवन नोइंग कि वेदर और नॉट दैट थिंग इज एक्चुअली ट्रू और नॉट. So Stuart is definitely not judgmental, and that is the reason that this person can share anything and everything with him. This is the best part of our friendship, and probably the main reasons of our friendship is still unscathed and strong. Unscathed, very good word. Unscathed means कोई आंच नहीं आई है उस पे, कोई दुष्प्रभाव नहीं आया है उस पे. It is undamaged. It is strong. He celebrates my successes genuinely, and we know each other in and out. Okay, so when we know anybody in and out, उसका मतलब होता है कि हम अच्छे से जानते हैं उस person को. So again, we are using a very good phrase out here, in and out. And we can talk about everything no matter how vague it is. हाउ वेग मीन्स चाहे कितना भी अनइम्पॉर्टेंट चीज हो, चाहे कितनी भी सिली चीज लगे, लेकिन वो किसी भी टॉपिक के बारे में आपस में बात कर लेते हैं. सो वेग मीन्स अनइम्पॉर्टेंट, मे बी सिली, मे बी not something that is related to something very academically sound or something. So, not necessary. This is the reason why the speaker is loving Stuart so much. Nice. So now just summing up the words that we used in our today's presentation, so that I just want to let you know that getting a bad 8 or 9 must have some good vocabulary words in your cue card, must have some good phrasal verbs. Okay, you must use one or two idioms in your cue card. That will be perfect. And of course, you need to follow the format, you need to answer all the bullet points, and definitely you will get to those band 8 or 9 about 8 and 9. So let's just summarize the words which we learned in our today's presentation, and it will help you to use it for future use. You can see that we have used fathom in our second sentence. Fathom means understand. Rouge, rouge means mysterious. Worth $1 million मतलब बहुत ही बेशकीमती. Boon companions means that ऐसे companions, ऐसे friends जो एक वरदान की तरह हों. हैविंग अ वेल ऑफ अ टाइम मतलब बहुत ही मजेदार समय बिताना, बहुत बीइंग वेरी हैप्पी अबाउट विद बीइंग विद समवन ओके. थ्रू थिक एंड थिन मींस अप्स एंड डाउन्स में. अटेंटिव लिसनर मींस कि बहुत ही अच्छे से जो सुने आपको, अपनी ना मनवाए, अपनी ना सुनाए, बट आपको भी सुने. दैट मीन्स यू मैटर टू दैट पर्सन इफ यू समवन इज प्रूविंग आउट टू बी अ attentive listener for you. Okay. Unapologetically means what? दैट उसको ये नहीं लग रहा है कि वो कोई गलती कर रहा है. अपॉलोजी, अपॉलोजी मीन्स माफी मांगना. अनअपोलोजेटिकली मीन्स माफी मांगने वाली कोई बात ही ना होना. ओके. ब्लंट मीन्स स्ट्रेट, स्ट्रेट अवे वो चीज बोल देनी. देन लास्ट लाइन की स्टार्टिंग में डिदर्स, डिदर्स मीन्स हेजिटेट्स. कमेंस्ड, कमेंस्ड मतलब शुरू होना, स्टार्ट होना. बिगिन, रिमेन इंटैक्ट मतलब वैसे का वैसे ही रहना, इंटैक्ट. Mutable, common interest is a very a common word. Is just that it is a good vocabulary that is restrictive to this cue card. So yes, you must use the word common interest, but it is not a word that you might not be knowing the meaning of. That is the reason I'm moving to the next word, which is mutable. Mutable means debatable. Absorbed in something means किसी चीज में बहुत ही खुब जाना, बहुत ही मन लग जाना, लगना हो किसी चीज में. In conjunction means together, simultaneously, side by side, profoundly, deeply. Being judged means किसी के बारे में कोई विचार बना लेना, कोई अपने दिमाग में कोई ना कोई इमेज क्रिएट कर लेना किसी की. Unscathed, unscathed means undamaged. Knowing in and out each other, in and out means पूरा का पूरा अच्छे तरीके से जानना. Vague means unimportant. Okay. So now let's hop on to some tips which I must let you know while you are preparing for your cue card, which is impromptu. Impromptu means what? That अब जो क्यू कार्ड आपको दिया जा रहा है, IELTS definitely has no syllabus, right? So impromptu, the reason being आपको on spot. Impromptu means on spot. आपको on spot कोई टॉपिक दिया जा रहा है and आपको उस टॉपिक पर बोलना है. दैट मीन्स कोई सेट लाइंस या कोई सेट कंटेंट तो नहीं है जो आपको रिसाइट करना है. मेमोराइज्ड थिंग्स आर नॉट देयर. नो डाउट सम स्टूडेंट्स गेट इनटू द हैबिट ऑफ मेमोराइजिंग सर्टेन sentences, and I would rather suggest you please don't do that. Even if your sentence structure is simple, you're using simple sentences, just be grammatically accurate. Use words that are use vocabulary words that are justifying the topic of your cue card well, and you are good to go. So do not at all memorize any kind of text. That is a big no from my side. All right, so let's see what all tips we can use in order to have a good preparation before pre-hand your actual examination. Underline the keywords. When you're given a topic of a cue card, you must underline the keywords. Like here, the cue card which we discussed today, the keywords were person, like the most. Okay. Create a storyline and add up information as the task proceeds. You have to create a storyline. Now this again means that you need to map. You need to have a mind map. It is very essential. Okay. Now and you need to add up the information. What information you will be adding? Again, the 5 W's and 1 H. The answers to those questions will be the information that you will be adding up in your cue card. If planning for some drama, then keep some for the end to make the climax stand out. Right now, but to use this tip, you have to be very, um, you need to practice a lot. You need to be efficient because time management here plays a crucial role. If you want to follow this tip, that you want to keep the climax for the end, because if the examiner, if you are stretching out the topic, the unessential details, you are holding on to those details more, और आपका टाइम निकल जाता है, आप ज़्यादा टाइम स्पेंड कर देते हो अनइम्पॉर्टेंट जो चीज़ें हैं, जो आपकी अभी क्लाइमैक्स आपने सेव किया है एंड में, वो आपने बाद में बोलना है। एंड व्हाट इफ द एग्जामिनर स्टॉप्स यू मिडवे? अगर उसने स्टॉप कर दिया तो आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि ओ आई हैव सम इम्पॉर्टेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन विच आई वांट टू रिसाइट इन द एंड, दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल नाउ, वो गॉन है। सो you can use this tip only if you're good with time management, if you know that you will be able to bring that drama, bring that exciting storyline or something, some exciting idea within the time frame of when you're at 1:15 to 1:30 minute. When 1:15, 1:30 minutes have passed by, so don't just think that you're going to keep speaking for 3 minutes and then later you will mention about this topic. No. Mind map is one practical strategy that helps the test taker during the crucial time of preparing a story for the cue card. Again, I have been emphasizing a lot since the beginning of my presentation, students, that mind mapping is very important when you're there sitting for your cue card. Because if you don't have a layout, if you don't have a blueprint, then things can get messy when you start speaking, because as I told you, it is human psychology, it is human tendency that we often forget things. And to be in line with the bullet points, with the answers or the questions that you're being asked for, please map your mind up. And for mapping, of course, we have our golden formula, the 5 W's and 1 H: what, when, where, why, and how often. Lovely. Now, you can be imaginative. Okay, so go ahead, showcase your creative side. Of course, you can be imaginative because कुछ cue cards हमारे ऐसे होते हैं जो हमने एक्सपीरियंस नहीं किए हुए हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ दे आस्क यू, इफ दे आस्क यू टू स्पीक अबाउट home that you would like to have in future. Now, there's a future thingy. You do not know that how, what kind of how home, in future. So you have to be very imaginative, creative. Brainstorm yourself and use your all your ifs and buts and what ifs. Use those. Be imaginative and go ahead to showcase your creative side. But at the same time, you have to sound very normal. Okay. Sometimes what happens is, see, we all are Indians, right? And we are born with a native, there's no second thought about it, no doubt about it, that we can master this language because it has now become a universal language and anybody can have an expertise in the same. But of course, we have a particular accent of ours. If you start to fake your accent and sound like some British or some, a native of a foreign country, native resident of a foreign country or something like that, if you're faking it out, trust me on this, you won't be able to fake it till the end. Okay, you are going to be interviewed for about good 15 minutes and fakeness will not last long. So why practice something which you can, not stick to? We it's all right, we can be natural, we can sound natural, it's all right. Like, I'm taking this presentation, I'm not using a fake accent. Okay, I'm just saying, okay, I will be saying, and that's what is how happening. You don't need to do that. Okay, so let's sound normal. Even when you are panicking, have a confident smile and bring in emotions when necessary. Now, you do not need to be robotic while you are answering and sitting there for your for to speak out your cue card content. Okay, and in order to not साउंड रोबोटिक ऑफ कोर्स लाइक टेक इट एज इफ आप बात कर रहे हो हिंदी में या पंजाबी में जब भी हम बात करते हैं वी डो नॉट साउंड लाइक एज इफ हमने न्यूज़ चैनल चलाया हो आज की ताज़ा खबर हम ये कहना चाहते हैं कि यू कैन नॉट डू दैट राइट सो व्हाई यू डूइंग इट इन इंग्लिश आई वुड लाइक टू से दैट आई go to the office and then I no just sound normal and use your emotions like मैंने अभी किया just sound normal and use your emotions there's no need to panic now did you see I have used three sentences तीन sentences की जो tone है that is different this is what comes under intonation that means the highs and lows of your speech so this is very important. Do not panic. Do not have a fake accent. Do not sound robotic. Feel confident. Take it as a normal conversation with some stranger. Okay, as if that you're not being assessed. Don't. If you start to have that fear, exam pressure in your mind that you're being scored. Oh my God, what is he gonna say? What is he gonna do? I have fumbled. I have stopped midway. What is gonna happen? That is altogether going to take away all the band scores because you've lost the you've lost half more than half of the battle I would rather say because speaking is you may that happens in the examination hall sometimes students just there's a blackout they turn blank so this just happens because of you've lost you lose your confidence so don't do that it's okay it's all right just take it as a normal conversation आप जितना उन चीज़ों को normal समझोगे उतना ही आपकी पैनिक सिचुएशन से आप बाहर आ जाओगे control your body movement which reflects your level of confidence yes of course you have to be confident and confidence ke andar comes your gestures your posture and everything expressions so your body movements need to be formal you do not it should not look that you're panicking or mm, your heart palpitations you should not reach out to the examiner so just stay calm it's all right it's just 15 minutes of talking to someone in English no access information is required. Keep theme in mind and talk accordingly. Yes, access information we cannot afford. How? Because we have just 2 minutes. Okay. अगर हम 2 minutes हमारे पास हैं तो हम extra information apart from our bullet points देंगे that is not going to fetch us more bands because अगर हम अपने क्यू कार्ड के बुलेट पॉइंट के आंसर ही देंगे उस तक ही रिस्ट्रिक्टेड रहेंगे सो डेफिनेटली इट साउंड्स दैट you would be sounding logical all right so there's no need to give any extra information that is not even relevant or not even required they've not asked for why to state that thing फॉर एग्जाम्पल जो हमने यहाँ पर अभी क्यू कार्ड किया है वॉज अबाउट अ पर्सन यू लाइक द मोस्ट एंड द क्यू कार्ड उसमें था कि पर्सन कौन है आप उसको कब मिले हैं और उसकी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स क्या है आपको क्या अच्छा लगता है और कितना का मिलता है नाउ अगर इस क्यू कार्ड में आप इन क्वेश्चंस में से कोई 2 या 3 क्वेश्चंस छोड़कर कोई इंसिडेंट नरेट करने लग जाते हो अबाउट U2 जिसमें आप दोनों इन्वॉल्व थे तो यू दिस इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड दे आर नॉट आस्किंग यू अबाउट इट कि कोई इंसिडेंट नरेट करो अपना पास्ट का अपने फ्रेंड के साथ लेट्स जस्ट स्टिक टू द क्वेश्चन लेट्स जस्ट स्टिक टू द टॉपिक ऑफ द क्यू कार्ड एंड अपने बुलेट पॉइंट्स के आंसर तक ही आप रिस्ट्रिक्टेड रहें दिस विल बी very helpful in order to get more bands now preparation before the exam ke pehle yes a lot of preparation is required practice is all about what takes in and goes in to a good band's preparation for your IELTS so what you have to do is speak about anything at a stretch for 3 to 4 minutes why 3 to 4 minutes because in IELTS speaking module you have to in your cue card you have to talk about continuous at least 2 minutes okay no, though the examiner may stop you before 2 minutes also डू नॉट पैनिक इन दैट सिचुएशन कि आपने शायद गलत बोल दिया है इसलिए उसने रोक दिया ऐसा कुछ नहीं है ओके दैट डिपेंड्स सोली ऑन द एग्जामिनर उसको क्या इफ ही इज गेटिंग व्हाट ही इज लुकिंग फॉर अगर एग्जामिनर को मिल जाता है वो जो आप में देखना चाहता है जितने बैंड्स के लेवल के लिए तो वो आपको स्टॉप कर देता है सो डू नॉट पैनिक अगर वो 2 मिनट्स के पहले भी आपको स्टॉप करता है बट आइडियली what is generally being talked about that out of as per the rule book okay you have to speak for 2 minutes now when you're practicing practice for 4 minutes why because that would make you feel more confident that will make you feel have more ideas that will make you have more content in your for your cue card so that you know, do not fall short of ideas or content when you're actually speaking for the main exam You talking for 2 minutes would be a piece of cake for you. इतना मुश्किल नहीं लगेगा आपको, अगर आपको ऑलरेडी 4 मिनट्स तक बोलने की आदत है तो यू कैन डेफिनेटली वहां पर कट शॉर्ट एज पर द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ योर क्यू कार्ड. Record your talk. Very important. Very important. You must record when you speak for your cue card. Because जब आप अपनी रिकॉर्डिंग कर कर खुद उसको दोबारा से सुनते हो, it makes an extensive difference. ट्रस्ट मी ऑन दैट. आपको कितनी गलतियां अपनी खुद की पता चलेंगी, जो आप खुद सोचोगे कि अरे ये तो मैं सही बोल सकता था या बोल सकती थी. आई न्यू दैट दिस वाज द थिंग बट स्टिल आई स्पोक इट इनकरेक्टली, स्टिल आई यूज्ड द इनकरेक्ट टेंस, स्टिल आई मिस प्रोनाउंस द वर्ड. आई न्यू कि यहाँ पर ये बात कही जा सकती पर मैंने नहीं बोली. सो जस्ट इन ऑर्डर टू सी दैट आप कहाँ पर लैक करते हो. मे बी आपको पता है कि ये चीज़ें करनी है बट बोलने के वक्त अगेन मैपिंग नहीं हुई और जिसकी वजह से we faltered. So you must record your audios when you're preparing for your cue cards. Talk in front of the mirror. Yes, a very old school tip that in order to boost your confidence, stand in the front of mirror and speak. Try adding some vocabulary, idioms, phrasal verbs to make it sound interesting. This is very important. Okay. Because as we discussed initially कि पैरामीटर्स हैं, पैरामीटर्स में लेक्सिकल रिसोर्सेज 25% वेटेज रखते हैं. इफ यू डू नॉट हैव sound vocabulary, if you do not have a good vocabulary bank, you do not have a good collection of words with you, you do not offer the examiner a range in your speech, then it will be a problem. So let's learn day by day. Let's make a notebook where we jot down all the good vocabulary words, make sentences, have some idioms, have some phrasal verbs to make your speech really impressive. Refer recent speaking tests and cue cards. Yes. Now, जो लास्ट मंथ और लास्ट एग्जामिनेशन डेट, लास्ट आयल्स एग्जामिनेशन डेट में क्यू कार्ड्स पूछे जाते हैं, डू रेफर टू दोस सो दैट यू हैव अ hint of what the examiners recently, what are the current trends going on in the IELTS industry, so that you know what topics they are touching nowadays and you can equip yourself well with those. Make use of good vocabulary that goes along with any topic. Vocabulary we have stressed enough, and let's move on next. Never pause if you feel you're running out of words or having a starting trouble or you need time to think. Then start off with saying, okay, okay, okay. So they are saying already this point has been discussed earlier that you do not pause. Okay. जो pause है भी should be natural. There should be natural pauses are acceptable here and there, but evident long pause should not be there. If you think कि आपके पास बोलने के लिए content नहीं है, then please you can use fillers. Okay, fillers as in, oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I don't know how much I know about it, but I would try to say that, I would try to mention. So you can fill, your conversation with such sentences so that you're using the language, you're maintaining your flow, you're pronouncing the words correct, everything is good to go. Don't sound underconfident. Don't feel shy to ask the examiner to repeat the question and clear your doubt rather than giving an answer which has no sense. Yes, this is very important. Now, mostly बच्चों के माइंड में एक मिसकंसेप्शन डाली जाती है कि यू शुड नॉट ask the examiner, can you please repeat the question? There is no problem at all. It's all right. Sometimes the examiner, is not audible enough. Maybe examiner is not, pronouncing the words correctly, not clear enough. Maybe you were not able to hear that because of some background noise or music. What background noise? I'm sorry, no music is played over there. So there can be ample factors wherein you were not able to listen to the question and accurately, and do not take chances to answer it incorrectly. It's all right. आप पूछ सकते हो उसको, could you please repeat the question? Just you have to take care that don't do it frequently. बार बार नहीं आप ये चीज़ करो. अगर एक बार दो बार भी अगर हो जाता है आपको क्वेश्चन समझ में नहीं आया, आप पूछ लेते हो, could you please repeat, could you please paraphrase or rephrase, or could you please I'm sorry I was not able to hear you properly, could you please repeat yourself? It's all right to do that. Do not panic. You can do that, but make sure आपका आंसर करेक्ट होना चाहिए. एंड ये जो रेपिटेशन वाला थिंग है is not done again and again. Avoid answering the questions in one word. Yes. Now you are not sitting there for an objective question type paper. That person is there to judge you on the basis of your fluency, your pronunciation, your content, your ease with which you're able to use this language, your expressions, your gestures, your connection with this language. How far are you well bonded, well connected to this language, English? So, if you are answering in one word, how would the examiner be able to trace out that whether you hold good, whether you are coming up to good expectations with the parameters of the questions? That is not possible. Then again, the examiner will be questioning you again and again, again and again, and then examiner will not feel good about it. So try to answer the questions in at least 2 sentences for general questions. Cue cards mein to you know that you have to keep speaking for 2 minutes, good 2 minutes. And for follow-ups, the third round is extensive. There you have to answer each question with at least minimally 4 to 5 sentences. So yes, please do not answer in one words. So what should you do in order to have that 8 band or above? Only make notes that are going to get you a high band score. I have seen candidates write the words nice or fun, and that's fine if you want band 5. But if you're aiming for a higher, then you need to write words that are going to impress the IELTS examiner. Yes, your vocab has to be impressive. You have to show your skill set to the examiner that you're well equipped with vocabulary words. So, using normal words, using the daily language words, no doubt those are not incorrect, but there lies the difference between a band 5 and a band 8 or above. So you only have 1 minute. So this means realistically you can only write 5 to 6 words of phrases, and that's not enough. You're probably thinking. Now, if you think that 60 seconds आपको enough नहीं है, ओके आप कितने के वर्ड्स लिख लोगे एट द मोस्ट? आप अगर आपकी स्पीड अच्छी है यू कैन राइट 10 वर्ड्स, बट यू थिंक दैट्स नॉट नाउ इनफ. बट यू इफ यू केटर टू दिस थिंग कि आपको लिखना क्या है, आपको कौन से वर्ड्स ऐसे हैं जो लिखने हैं, सो दैट यू डू नॉट मिस आउट दोज वर्ड्स, वो आप बोलो ही बोलो अपने क्यू कार्ड में. So that is where lies the difference. That is what you need to understand. My notes for answering the topic, talk about a person you admire would be. Now, if अगर आपको क्यू कार्ड आ जाता है admire person की admiration, I will not at all write unimportant words or words that I already know that जो मैं link करके एक sentence simple sentence बना सकती हूँ. I would not do that. Okay, so what vocabulary words I would be using? A born leader. Nice. See, entrepreneurial skills, determined, charismatic, charming, well respected, inspirational, positive role model. Nice. So these words, phrases, all are going to impress the IELTS examiner because they are much more complex than nice or fun. अगर आपको एक पर्सन के बारे में बोलने को कहा जाए कि एक ऐसे पर्सन की आप बात करें जो कि जिसको आप एडमायर करते हैं, सो सिंपली अगर आप लिखेंगे ही इज़ वेरी फन टू बी विद, ही इज़ वेरी नाइस, नो नो, एंड जस्ट एक डिफरेंस देखो कितना ड्रास्टिक है इफ यू राइटिंग दीज वर्ड्स, entrepreneurial, charismatic. So this is how you should practice. प्रैक्टिस यूजिंग मोर डिटेल्ड नोट्स. यस, हम प्रैक्टिस तो डिटेल्स के साथ कर सकते हैं ना, सो दैट वी हैव एम्पल मटेरियल विद अस, सो दैट हमारी जो रिटेनेबिलिटी है उसके उसका सक्सेस रेट हाई हो. अगर हम 10 वर्ड्स करते हैं तो एटलीस्ट व्हेन वी आर सिटिंग देयर टू अटेम्प्ट फॉर आवर क्यू कार्ड, हमें एटलीस्ट 5 वर्ड्स तो याद रहेंगे, 3 मे बी. So we should practice with more detailed notes definitely. Instead of just writing down words, you could also try thinking of more detailed phrases, ideas. So for example, for the question, how long have you known him or her? Okay, अगर आपको bullet points में speaking के bullet points में question आ जाता है कितनी देर से आप जानते हो, how long? The tendency is to answer this by saying आपका mostly आप ये tendency होगी आप बोलोगे I have known him for 6 years. But again, this is not going to impress the IELTS examiner. Something like, I am not entirely sure when we met. It could have been about 7 years ago. Yes, that's right. It was when we were both playing football for the school team and is much longer. Now, this sentence, एक sentence ये है कि I have known him for 6 years, और दूसरा sentence, I am not entirely sure when we meet. It could have been about 7 years ago, and yes, that's right. It was when we were both playing football for the school team. This is a much longer, detailed, contains much more complex language that you need for IELTS. Here it is written 6.5. Yes, 6.5 and above. Why 6.5? बिकॉज इफ यू लुक क्लोजली, इस सेंटेंस में कहीं भी कोई अच्छा ऐसा डिफरेंट आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स वोकेबलरी वर्ड नहीं है, जैसे कि हमने अपने क्यू कार्ड में फैदम, जिदर, रूज हमने किया था, ऐसा कोई वर्ड नहीं है। कॉमन फेमिलियर वर्ड्स हैं, दैट इज वाई ये जो सेंटेंस है विल फेच यू 6.5 बैंड्स। इफ यू वांट टू गो फॉर हायर, सो इसमें आपको अपनी वोकेबलरी इंट्रोड्यूस करनी पड़ेगी, एंड यू विल बी गुड टू गो, यू विल बी परफेक्ट एट इट। The notes that would write down might be, I'm not entirely sure, it could have been, we were both playing. So, do you see आपने कितनी grammatical range इसमें introduce कर दी है? Remember that IELTS speaking is not a test of knowledge. वो आपकी knowledge नहीं test कर रहे हैं IELTS की speaking में। आपको parameters मैंने discuss करवाए हैं। Parameters, what all were the parameters? Let's get back to that because वो बहुत important है। No doubt, I know that I'm ending my presentation, but I would not hesitate, not dither. Yes, the word using the word dither, just in order so that का आपको वो word याद रहे, so that this proves out to be a success. अगर आपको इस presentation से एक दो चीज़ें भी याद रहती हैं, तो इट्स अ विन विन सिचुएशन फॉर मी। ओके, पैरामीटर्स क्या है? फ्लुएंसी, लेक्सिकल, ग्रामेटिकल रेंज, प्रोनाउंसिएशन। इसमें आपका कोई पैरामीटर ऐसा नहीं है जिसमें आपका कंटेंट जज हो रहा है, आपकी नॉलेज जज हो रही है, आपका आईक्यू लेवल जज हो रहा है। सो डू नॉट वरी अबाउट दैट, योर नॉलेज इज नॉट बीइंग टेस्टेड हेयर। ओके, remember that IELTS speaking is not a test of knowledge, it is a test of communication. So, the more language you can use to communicate the same way you could use in the native language, the more it will impress the IELTS examiner. Don't just sit there like a robot answering the questions. Yes, do you remember? I told you, please do not be robotic, do not sound robotic. बहुत ही boring हो जाएगा, एंड देन देर विल बी प्रॉब्लम, बिकॉज आपकी इंटोनेशन लैक हो गई, आपके इमोशंस कनेक्टेड नहीं है, आप साइकोलॉजिकली एग्जामिनर से ही कनेक्टेड नहीं हो, यू आर जस्ट सिटिंग देयर एज इफ यू आर रीडिंग आउट सम न्यूज फॉर न्यूज चैनल। सो वी डोंट वांट दैट, वी वांट 8 and above, and for that we need to use all the tips, techniques, tricks, strategies, all the plannings that we just discussed in our today's presentation. Thank you so much, guys, for being with me, and I hope that this presentation proved out to be of some good to you. And do let me know in your comment in the comment section below if you want presentation on some particular topic, so that we can pick that up and bring it up to you in a detailed manner in our next live session. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for more updates and information from Persona Academy. Thank you.